Hello everybody, it's Kim here again, and in this video I'm going to be showing you the 2-point perspective guide in Toon Boom Harmony Premium. Now, as you can see, I have my little scene set up and I've got a color card in there with a white color added to it. Again, you don't have to do this. You can draw straight onto the default gray that's in the program, and you can also draw with your guides in the drawing tab itself. I like to use the camera so that I can see exactly how much of my background needs to be inside the camera frame. Now I'm going to go to my guides window. Again, if this is not up in your layout, you can add it by clicking the plus button on any of the tabs that are already open and adding them through there, or you can add them from your Windows drop down. Okay, so we're looking at the 2-point perspective guide, so I'm going to go to my plus button and I'm going to add the 2-point perspective. Again, we cannot see it until we actually select one of our drawing tools, the brush, pencil, or shape tools. And now, as you can see, we have our 2-point perspective laid out in front of us. Just like the guides in video 1, we have a horizon line and we have our vanishing points. In this case, because it's a 2-point perspective, we have 2 vanishing points. Again, you can edit these guides by grabbing and moving your vanishing points. Now, as you can see, as I move this, it automatically rotates the horizon line because it's moving it in relation to the other vanishing point. So in the case of a 2-point perspective guide, you won't be able to rotate the horizon like you could with the 1-point perspective, because technically moving one of the lines will automatically rotate your horizon. So it's just something to keep in mind. Just like the other guides I explained to you guys, when you draw, your lines will automatically follow the lines that are on the perspective grid. You can turn this off by disabling this button over here, Align with Guide button. You can also enable and disable your guides, lock your guides, enable the guide with the eraser, hide your guide lines, and extend the full cursor display if you want your dotted lines to keep going. And then again over here we have your number of lines in your guide to increase or decrease the amount of lines that are coming out of your vanishing points. Just like the other guides, we can also export and import guides into this area. So if you decide that you've ended up with a 2-point perspective you really like, you can export that guide and save it for another scene. So I'm just going to show you guys a scene that I've prepared for my 2-point perspective. This is a children's room that I've done already on a 2-point perspective. And the 2-point perspective I used for this, I've actually exported. So I'm going to import it so that you guys can see how all the lines line up with the perspective guide that I have specifically for this shot. And using my perspective guides, I'm going to go ahead and do a neat version of this for you guys so that you can see what you can accomplish with your 2-point perspective guide. Hey, I'm back, and this is my 2-point perspective scene done as a kid's room. Don't forget that when you're drawing with the guides, you can also use your left and right arrow keys to isolate your drawing to either the diagonals or the horizontals and verticals of your guides. And that's it. That's an example of something you can do with your 2-point perspective guides in Toon Boom Harmony. Join me in the next video to check out the 3-point perspective guides.